Hello everyone, welcome back. Today I want to talk to you guys about these Pole.Craft inside the waistband holsters. Okay, it says Pole.Craft. Okay, pull it up there so you can see it. They're on Amazon. They're about $23. The reason why I got it is because you know, for a long time I was carrying this Ruger LCP, and this has a double action only trigger, so it's got a long hard trigger pull. And because it's got that double action, you know, I'm able to safely carry this in a soft collapsible holster, you know, and which is very comfortable. But what I found is with the soft collapsible holster, I would not do a lot of drills. I would not do a lot of holster drills, because even though I could get it out of the holster pretty easily, it was a little difficult to get it back inside a soft holster that's inside the waistband. So I bought this inside the waistband holster so I can practice shooting with this gun. And what happened was, you know, I was carrying this for several weeks, and then this, you know, riots started breaking out in different parts of the country, and I said, you know what, maybe this 380 isn't the best choice right now. So I switched over to this, the M&P Shield 9. Now, this is a 9mm, so it's a slightly bigger bullet, you know, just by a little bit, and it's got capacity of just one extra bullet. So why bother? Why go to the bigger gun to get only one extra bullet? And the main reason is these ETS magazines that I bought at Botoc, because these are cheap. They're like $13, and you can buy a lot of them, and they're pretty reliable. So I can buy lots of cheap magazines, and what I can do is I can seed these magazines in different places where I might need them. So I can put like this 12-rounder here. I can throw that, you know, in my car, like you know, under the dashboard somewhere. I can put, you know, one in my safe. I can put one in my office. So because, you know, basically part of the reason why I switched to the Shield is because of these magazines. Because I now had the ability to get a lot of these cheap magazines and just throw them all over the place, and they work pretty good. So that was an important consideration. And of course, I needed, like, you know, this is a striker fired gun, and you cannot carry this in a soft collapsible holster, because what happens when you go to, you know, to reholster the gun, you might accidentally hit, you know, snag that trigger and fire the gun. So this Shield and most striker fired guns like Glocks, they must go in a hard Kydex holster. Okay, so basically, I wanted to talk to you guys about this, about the Pole.Craft. It's been working great. I have no complaints. When I was carrying the LCP, the 380, I mean, I would carry this in a 5 o'clock position, and this gun would just basically disappear. I did not know I even had a gun on me until I actually went and felt for a gun. Okay, so this is great. I mean, you cannot feel you have a gun on you. This is absolutely wonderful. When I started carrying the M&P Shield 9, I mean, yeah, now you're gonna feel this a little bit more, particularly when you go to sit down in the car. Okay, so that's an important consideration. When you sit down in the car, yeah, you're sitting there, you're adjusting this, you're trying to get into the right spot. One of the things that sometimes will happen is the rear sight, because if you look at the plastic here, it's basically cut in such a way that the rear sights are exposed. Depending on how you're sitting, if you're sitting in the car seat, the corner of the rear sights can pinch you, so you can feel that. So that's, you know, I mean, that's the only recommendation I would make. I would recommend that the plastic come out a little bit more to cover the rear sights that on this gun are going to they're going to pinch you. And what I usually do is, if I'm going to sit in the car, and that's the only time that I really feel those rear sights, what I do is, if I'm going to sit in the car, I'll just tuck my shirt in between the rear sights and the guns, so, you know, while I'm driving. If I'm not driving, if I'm sitting in a regular chair, whatever, it doesn't bother me at all. So this is specifically when you're sitting in the car, and that's really the reason why, like, I can't carry it like a Glock 19 or anything. It's extremely uncomfortable if you're sitting in the car. Okay, so unless it's your job, you know, unless you're in a high risk type of environment, where you need a Glock 19, you need something that has, you know, 15 round capacity. I mean, I'm not going to carry it. You know, I'm in a low risk area. There's no riots in my area. I don't expect to have a problem. Of course, if the threat level changed and if riots did come into my area, yes, I would most certainly carry a Glock 19 or 17, or you know. But right now, the shield is fine. I'm able to carry this with the 7-round magazines and just have a bunch of these extra magazines and just see these in different places. So that's working out really good for me. This holster, and basically I'm really here to talk about the holster today. The holster is working out really well for me. Very comfortable. I mean, I wouldn't hesitate to buy a more expensive holster if I thought it might do something better. Maybe that thing with the rear sights, that might be something I may want to look into. You know, where you know, maybe it's cut out to cover the rear sights, so that might be a reason why I might want to switch into a different holster at some point. But yeah, that's the one thing that might become a problem for you. Now, one of the things I'm going to tell you is when you get this gun, you know, you may have to tighten the screws up a little bit here. There's a screw here that basically tightens this up. What you want to do is when you tighten this, you don't want to, you know, when you're tightening, you have to actually put the gun on and test it with the belt on you, because like right now, yeah, this feels pretty loose, but when you actually put the gun on, tighten your belt, it's going to feel different, because right now that feels perfect. Whereas if I take the gun, you know, if I take the holster off the belt and I'm you know, pulling it out of the pulling the gun out of the holster, it's going to feel loose. So the gun is going to feel different if you're just doing this versus if you actually put it on your belt, tighten it up. You know, that it's going to feel a little bit different coming out of the holster. So you have to tighten this for when you're actually wearing the gun inside the waistband. Now, the other great thing about this holster, both these holsters, right, on both of these guns, is that I found that I'm now actually practicing a lot more drawing from inside the waistband. Because when I had this 380, you know, because this had that double action trigger, you know, I could carry this in a soft collapsible holster, and you know, occasionally I would practice coming out of the holster and shooting, but it was such a pain in the neck reholstering. I practically had to take the holster off, put the gun in it, put the holster back, you know, inside my belt. So I ended up not practicing as much. I would normally practice with a different holster outside of the waistband, because these holsters, you know, the gun goes, you know, comes out and goes back in so easy. You know, this is now you're gonna want to actually practice shooting, you know, coming out of the holster from inside the waistband. So that's a really important consideration, because you got to practice. You know, because you know, a lot of people, they practice with the gun outside the waistband, but they're always carrying inside the waistband, which I did for a very long time as well. That's why, you know. But now with these type of holsters that are easy to reholster, you can actually practice coming out of the holster and shooting. Okay, so let's come out over there. This is, you know, this is a very useful training tool, having a holster that will make you want to practice a lot. Okay, so a couple of things for you guys to think about, but like I said, this Pole.Craft $23 holster, I mean, it's pretty good. I got no complaints on the Ruger LCP, because this thing's got really low sights. You know, the sights pinching is not an issue at all. In fact, those are horrible sights. I can't even see these. This is like a really close range gun. At dusk, like it is right now, see, I actually painted these white so I can see them. You can't change these out. You can't put like glow in the dark sights on them. So that's another consideration. That's another reason why I switched away from the Ruger LCP and I moved into this M&P Shield 9. As you can see, I changed out the sights. I got glow in the dark sights over here, and you know, and I'm able to get a lot of these cheap ETS magazines that work well. You know, because cheap and works well is really good when you can get it. You know, because sometimes you have to pay a lot to get something that works really well, but occasionally you get cheap stuff that works really well, and that's, you know, I think that deserves attention. It's worth mentioning. That's one of the things I try to do on my channel. You know, when something is cheap and it works well, I would definitely want you guys to know about it. So if you guys have any questions, comments, put it in the comment section. If you're not a member of the channel, please subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.